What is up, my lovely people in BluCranium land? So for today's video, guys, I'm going to be drawing you the crocodile, the badass of the swamps. For the longest time, I always thought crocodiles and dinosaurs were some sort of descendants, but in all actuality, they are not. They're actually part of a larger group called Archosaurus, which surprisingly includes birds. Now, when you think about birds and dinosaurs, there's some correlation with, I can't remember what is the species, but I know there was this one breed of dinosaurs that had the wings, which were like leather shaped or kind of like leather, not material, but skin used for the wings. And I remember seeing it, I think may have been in the movie Jurassic Park. But can you just imagine, in nowadays day and age, having to see an actual real dinosaur actually walk the face of the earth? That right there would be something really cool to have to witness. Yes, they walked the earth like many millions and millions of years ago, but now if you think about it, now can you imagine seeing a dinosaur or something of that nature, or what is it, the ones that eat leaves? I don't know what the actual name is, but just prancing along on the expressway or in the streets. I think that would be really cool to see. So for this illustration, what I wanted to do is I wanted to draw the crocodile in all of its glory. Every part of the crocodile, is just kind of like it honestly feels like it's like a part of nature that was built for war. It's got that nice rugged texture of the skin that it has. And then it has these big giant teeth that kind of almost look like a shark's teeth, but just the sheer beautifulness, if that's really a word, of this creature is just amazing to take it all in. I remember when I had gone to I think it must have been the Toledo Zoo, and they had a crocodile over there in their trying to remember what part of the zoo this was, but this guy was massive. He was just chilling at the bottom of the container, or not container, but the tank in which he was at. But the guy was huge. And when you think of all the different species that have roamed this earth, and you think of dinosaurs especially, and crocodiles just being like a smaller version of them, it's just amazing to think how much evolution has changed so many species, and there are so many ones that have gone extinct. But can you just imagine having to re-see them all over today? If science really advances and there is a way to somehow get them back, which in all honesty I don't know if that would even be possible. But but there's all this AI talk and all that jazz. It's kind of cool to think of all that mankind has achieved, or visually achieved, I guess. So I don't know where I'm going with this topic, but just all in all, this was definitely a fun illustration to create. As I told you in the previous ones also, I have a bunch of different creatures and beings that I would like to draw for y'all. And I think, yes, the crocodile is definitely one of the mean looking ones, and just like the shark is. And these are just beautiful and perfect, evolved machines of their time. Mother Nature has done a beautiful job when it came to the whole evolution process. I mean, like, you know, giving them their teeth and, you know, just everything about them. So as the day progressed, I decided to keep going at this illustration, which took me almost about, I think, close to an hour to 2 hours to get all the line art and drawing done. And after everything was said and done, I looked at the illustration and I kind of felt something was missing. So what I went ahead and did is I added these stone looking creations that you can see, and my thought process behind it was to create some sort of texture and look to make it look like as if the illustration has got kind of like a half and half kind of look. And what I meant by that is I wanted to show like the bottom half of the picture or the illustration, I'm sorry, has got like the skull look, and then the top half has got like the alligator kind of look, like, you know, kind of like almost like an active decomposition kind of look. And I added these leaves, and basically what I wanted to illustrate is showing that the skin or the scales that they have is kind of like slowly eroding off and almost like kind of like blowing off it as it sits in nature, you know. And you can also see like this nice spattered look which I did for the bottom. I enjoy using that brush because it really gives that nice textured, weathered look to the illustration. So that's one of my favorite brushes to use. And as you can see, for the colors, I chose a nice beige look for the actual skull part at the bottom, and then for the top part I chose almost like a moss green for the scales, and then I chose a different shade of that exact same green to get the actual look of the scales. But yeah, trying the different colors and you know, experimenting to see which color would pop the most is always a fun process to do, like, you know. So I can save a little bit of time on the video. What I do is I'll go ahead and play around with the color palettes and the color circles on Procreate to see which colors would actually look good on camera, and make the selection accordingly. So I really enjoyed how these it almost looks like stones, but actually what I was trying to incorporate was the scales of the I don't know if it's called scales, but we'll call it scales for right now, of the crocodile. And then for the shading, what I'm doing over here, what I did is I did the exact same thing what I've done for the other ones, which is I used the opacity, or turned down the opacity for the line art, and then just turned it down to about, I want to say 30%, maybe, or it might have been 40%. I always play around with that to see which one looks good. And you know, it's cool how you can I mean, the shading process kind of adds so much depth to an illustration as opposed to just doing it in, like, you know, like a regular just line art and, you know, leaving it without any color. It's the coloring process is definitely fun and very relaxing to do. And and for me, in my case, for the most part, I always gotta check and see if my camera's still recording, because every now and then, like, you know, it'll just decide to have a hiccup and stop recording. And the way I have my camera set up is, as you can obviously can tell, it's from an angle from my left side, and every now and then, like, you know, I gotta, you know, crouch up to look at the screen to make sure that the numbers are still going, so I know it's recording, and then come back down. So with that being said, like, what I would like to do for my long-term setup is, when I get an actual drawing table, I'd like to have the camera do the record position in the top down kind of version, and see how that turns out, or I might just keep doing it in this point of view. I think this point of view, I think personally, looks cool because it almost signifies kind of like almost like a classroom session where, like, say if a instructor was doing an illustration and you were standing like on his left, like towards his left side or behind him or her, you could actually see it from that point of view. But the top-down version, I think, is also kind of nice because then you get to see the entire screen, so it's not like cut off like how it is right now in the left corner and then in the right corner. But for the most part, I mean, I try my best to get as much as possible in the video, so that way you guys can see and observe what I'm doing, you know. But all in all, I mean, you know, these illustrations are always fun to create, and like, you know, always look up different ideas as to what I can do for my next illustration. And but yeah, being a skull-based or skeleton and skull-based channel, it's interesting to come up with ideas. I mean, you know, and like I always look at YouTube at other creators to see what they do. Like I'm talking about, like in particular, the ones that are dominantly doing digital art, and just, you know, try to get an understanding of what type of content they put together for their viewers. And I mean, yeah, there's a whole lot of channels that I follow for inspiration, like, you know, so that way I can, you know, provide value to my viewers long term. But yeah, all in all, I mean, yeah, I know this back and forth with the zooming in and out kind of, sometimes I feel it kind of feels a little repetitive or kind of too fast, but you know, that's just part of the illustration process. You have to zoom in and out to make sure that the illustration's actually coming together. So now for this part over here, for the actual highlights, I chose a nice almost like an avocado kind of a green for the highlights, and I kind of liked how it turned out. And I don't know why I thought of avocado, because that's the first thought that came to my mind when I picked this color. Because, you know, when you look at an avocado for the very first time and you cut it open, it's got that nice, beautiful, bright green color. So yeah, I think that's what my thought process was. But yeah, all in all, you know, as I said, like, you know, creating these illustrations is always fun. And you know, I mean, when I'm creating these illustrations, it's not just about what do you call it, drawing. It's also about learning different techniques and seeing what works. Like now, for another illustration that I did for my other art channel, I actually tried using white as the highlight layer and reducing the opacity, and it actually surprisingly worked out just as cool as how I did the shading, which is something I've never tried before. So it was just kind of like an experiment to see how it goes, and it actually came out close enough to the highlights that I would have chosen manually, which is kind of cool to try out something new every now and then. And that's the fun part about art, you know. I mean, there's so many new things that you can learn. I mean, if you think that what you've learned now, there won't be nothing more for you to learn. I mean, you know, just when you think that, I mean, you go ahead and watch another artist and you learn something new from somebody else. I mean, you know, it's just kind of cool to implement that in your process and just see how the illustrations turn out. Like, you know, like for me, for the longest time, what I've struggled with is all my art used to always be in the same line weight, you know, and like when you look at it from a distance, it looks very flat and it looks very what do you call it, the illustration doesn't look like it's got any sort of storytelling or any character to it. But the moment you change up the line weight, wherein, like, you know, the lines at the bottom where you would have the shadows would be the thicker lines, and then the lines at the top would be the thinner lines where the light would hit. All of a sudden, I mean, you see such a big, huge change in the illustration, and it actually looks way better than, you know, just doing it in one line weight. I mean, I don't know if that's something new artists ever. I think I don't know. I think new artists probably sometimes some pay attention to it. Like now, for me, I'm not a brand new artist, but with that being said, I'm not even that great of an artist. I mean, what I do is just based on just completely, you know, trial and error and seeing what works and what doesn't work. But the whole process of creating art to me is very zenful and very what do you call it? It's very what do you call it? It's for me. I think to put it in words, it would be like going for a nice long drive. Like, you know, just jingling your keys, getting into your car, turning on the AC, putting on some tunes, and going for a nice long drive. I mean, that's how art is to me. I mean, yeah, granted, I mean, I would love to go for a nice long drive now, but seeing the fact that I don't have a car, that would seem a little bit inconvenient. But eventually, I'm sure I'll get a car and or maybe rent a car and then go for a nice long drive. I think sometimes that's just the best way to clear your mind, especially on those days where you feel like there's no art at all coming to you or no inspiration. I mean, like, gosh, it's like I remember I had those days back in 2013. Fast forward to 2018, and I was given a second chance, I guess, to restart back up my art. So I was kind of glad that the event that unfolded in 2018 kind of did, just only for the fact that I got my art started back up. But anyway, that's a story for another time. But guess we'll go and wrap this video up, guys, by saying keep creating, keep drawing. I will see you guys down the road or on the other side. Sorry to have bothered you with my sad art stories. Anyway, guys, take care. Bye for now.